Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Reviews. I'm Chase Lee. This is live, Real Reviews Live, sorry. And I'm here to review The D Train. This stars James Marsden, Jack Black, Kathryn Hahn, and a bunch of other great supporting casts. Unfortunately, I don't know how to feel about this movie. It's really weird. It's really bizarre. I don't know how to attack this. Okay, so Jack Black plays Dan, and he's got a family, he's got a wife, he's got some kids, and he's a part of the reunion committee for his high school. So he's trying to round up everyone for a high school reunion. It's their 20 year, and he's kind of like the outcast of the group, and you can kind of tell he was the outcast in high school. He wasn't really noticed. He was like that chubby fat kid that no one really liked and stuff, and no one really talked to. Kind of like how I experienced, and so I kind of felt I was with him. On board for that point. And then James Marsden plays Oliver Lawless, and he was kind of like the popular kid in his high school class. And now Dan sees him on a banana boat ad on TV, and so he tells the committee members, "Hey, what if I get Oliver Lawless? Then everyone will start coming and stuff." And so he basically tries to get Oliver to come to the reunion so he can save the reunion, have more people come and everything. So he goes out to LA where Oliver is at, and so he tries to convince Mr. Lawless, if you will, to come to the reunion. He's like, no, at first. And so they have a night of drinking, doing coke, and then something happens, and then Dan goes back home, and then Oliver starts to come to he calls Dan. He's like, hey, I want to come to the reunion. So he flies him out and stuff, and then weird stuff starts happening between them. And that's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil anything because Dan also has a job and stuff at this really like old, kind of job where like the boss doesn't really know technology that much. But I don't need to say any more because if I say any more, it kind of ruins the experience, whether you like it or not. I'm in the camp of not really digging this movie. I'm going to be completely honest. And sorry about the noise. That is my air conditioning. I honestly don't know how to tackle this one. Okay, let's just start from the directing. It's written and directed by a couple people. I forgot their names. They make it seem like, Jack Black is kind of like that sympathetic character. You can kind of relate to him. I know I did. No one really liked me and stuff. And, I was kind of like the outcast. And so, he tries to get Oliver to come to the reunion stuff. That's all fine. He goes out to LA and tries to persuade him. It's a little weird on the obsession side, but I totally get where he's coming from with the whole, bringing a popular kid and hanging out with him at a reunion to show in front of his class that, he's in fact popular, and him and Oliver were our friends and stuff. I get that. He wants to kind of get back at his high school friends. But then, as the night progresses, they drink, and like Oliver does blow. And then, Dan gets on board with this, and he does blow just like that. And he starts doing just stuff that it just doesn't seem like his character would do. Like, I understand the obsession of trying to obtain him to do whatever it takes to like get him to come to the reunion, but it's like you have because this whole trip to LA, like he gambles his job. Like he fakes like a business trip, and he brings his boss along with him. So that's already like douchebag move number one. And like douchebag move number two does cocaine. And it's like he's calling his wife, and she's like, well, how is everything? He's like, oh, everything's fine. Like there's no regard for her or anything. He doesn't listen to his older son. Like Jack Black was almost like an unbearable character to a point. Like he just kept screwing everything up, and like there was really no point for redemption because there was like this nice little speech at the end, and he was trying to say that like Oliver Lawless is like he's the popular kid. Jack Black is the like the chubby outcast, and his speech is like we all have an Oliver Lawless inside of us. And I understand what they were going for, but there's something that happens in the movie to where when he says that, people in the audience laughed. And every time when Jack Black would try to do something, I don't know, more dramatic for the story and stuff, it came off as funny because of what happens in the movie. And so I didn't think it really meshed well. I think they were trying to go for like a more dramatic turn in some spots, which is fine. But when I guess the way it was delivered and the way it was cut together, people were laughing. And like I was trying to get into it and it just didn't seem to work. It wasn't really a good blend. And I honestly didn't find it all that funny. Like there was a couple times where I kind of smiled, but other than that, I wasn't like ha 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 funny. Like this was more, I would say it's more of like, it's like a comedy. It's a dramedy. Let's just call it what it is. And I didn't really like, Dan's character, who Jack Black plays. I also didn't like Oliver Lawless for the most part. Like we sympathize with him because we realize, he's not really done much with his life and he's kind of peaked or whatever. And so I understand that, but it just seemed like everyone was just dumb. And like the wife, like there was stuff happening to where like it was in the kitchen table and like it was right there and the kitchen was over here and she was right here and they were over here talking about Jack Black's son having a threesome and like he's like, shh, don't tell mom, she doesn't know. And like you're standing 10 feet away and you're talking very loud. It's just there's a lot of dumb characters in this movie. And I think Jack Black's one of them. Like even his boss at the very end of the movie when he gets caught, it was like you could have just done this instead. And it's like, yeah, you probably should have. And so I don't know. The characters are just dumb, and I don't know if that has to do with the writing or the directing, but it seemed to not mish and mash, and the whole mixing comedy with drama. Like I said, they would put gay jokes in the speeches and stuff, and people were laughing it up, and like I understand what they were going for, but it was just too weird. It didn't mesh well, and then. I mean, the acting's fine. Like, they do fine in their parts. The acting is not the problem. I think it's just the whole story and the way all the characters are perceived and stuff. I just did not care for anything. It kind of made me just not interested in anything, especially at the very end when everything's, resolved or whatever, and then the title of the movie comes into play. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to think, but I'm kind of like on the lower half of this, the bottom half of the 5. I don't know. It's just the whole story and the whole directing. I mean, I gave you my reasons why, but I just don't want to spoil anything for you because you might want to see it. But like I said, the acting's fine. Jack Black is fine. He does his thing. James Marsden is fine. He does his thing. Catherine Hahn plays Jack Black's wife, and she's good. She's always good in everything. I like her. So the acting is not the problem. Like I said, it's just more of the story and the characters and just the way it's written. Cinematography-wise, I mean, it's produced by the Independent Film Channel. It's, it is what it is. It's not badly shot. It's a clean movie. It's not anything that's wonky or whatever. So yeah, cinematography is so. Editing wise, movie's like an hour and a half. I don't know. Just every time when Jack Black would obsess over Oliver Lawless, or like when he would do something dumb with his job or do something dumb to screw up his marriage or his kids, I did not like him, and so like it made the movie come to a grinding halt, and it slowed down for me. I think the more I'm talking about, I think the more you can kind of see it in my face and hear in my voice. I just really did not care for this movie at all. I'm only going to give this grade solely on performances. I'd probably go 2 or 3. I'll go 2. I'll give it a 2 out of 10 just because I think the actors, they did their best for what they were given. Did not care for the characters' decisions or the way the characters were portrayed, or when they would try to be serious, but they would insert that humor inside the speech, and it didn't work. It's like, no, this is a really serious movie. You should probably stay in that moment. It's just the obsession that Jack Black's character has on Oliver Lawless. Why? You're supposed to be 38 years old in this movie. I can understand maybe if it was a 10-year reunion, because it's been 10 years, you kind of want to impress people and stuff, but you are in your mid to late 30s. You have a wife and you have kids, and I just don't understand why would you go to this length to get him? I understand you want to be popular for the class, but it ends up backfiring you anyways. And it's 10 times worse at the end of the movie. So you didn't really learn anything. You just made it worse. I don't know. 2 out of 10 because the acting was good. The more I think about it, the more I just disliked it. But so, what did you guys think of the D Train? If you have seen it, comment on place, rub on my face, and let me know. As always, thanks for watching my reviews. I'm Chase Lee, and tune next time for whatever I review next. Hopefully, it's not the D Train. So, all right, let me go ahead and play my outro music. I'll see you guys later. All right. Peace, guys.